Hi guys, I'm Aussie and welcome to episode 97 of the Hearts of Midlothian save, and today it is a summer transfer special. We haven't skipped ahead at all since the end of season awards at the end of last episode, and the goal this summer is to try and build a team that, I feel like we have a team, well we do have a team now that is good enough to win in Scotland. Now we want to try and, I don't know if we can win in Europe, but we can certainly, at least, we'll try and do what we did last year and sort of get out of the group in the Champions League, and we ended up getting to the quarterfinals last year, obviously, didn't we? So, go as far as we can in Europe and maybe just sneak a win. This will be our last season in all likelihood before FM20 comes out, so we want to make it a good one. Now let's have a quick look at the squad from last season and see how we did. Now in terms of appearances, this is how I have it sorted out right now. Obviously Amar led the way. He's our undisputed number one goalkeeper, and I don't see that changing. I don't think we're going to upgrade enough to make it worthwhile getting another goalkeeper. He's been really, really good for us. Of course, the caveat to all this is if somebody comes in and makes offers, then obviously that, we know how things can change over the summer. The other ever presence this year, Cochrane, Darnell Johnson, who's someone we could potentially look to upgrade on, though we can see his average rating was quite good, so maybe he just had a couple of bad days in Europe at the end there. But Naki Dominguez, who is staying for another year on loan, Hartford, Taylor, O'Connor, Coping and Lee, who got injured towards the end of the season. Carlson Lancaster really fell out of form, didn't they? Uche, who ended up with the same amount of goals as Lancaster last season, he wants to leave. In all likelihood, this will be farewell this episode, but we'll see how that plays out. Dozzle, we can see here we have a lot of players playing a lot of games. Now, there was a question in the comments from Gaz about how Colin McNeil did on loan. You can see there, 15 games, 7 goals, 2 assists. He was at Hamilton, so he was playing in the Premiership. I don't know that he is the answer to our question of, is he good enough to challenge Carlos for that first team spot? So valued at $5.5 million, we might even look to maybe sell him on to raise funds to sign sort of better players. If you go down to the bottom here, players that haven't really played, we know our backups here. Now we do have Calvin Foster. He's not going to challenge. He's not going to challenge Carlos, but he might be someone we can look at as being sort of the McNeil replacement almost in that sort of desperate role. The thing is that he's got no real jumping reach or heading ability. He's just a sort of a scooter, sort of like a Michael Owen type for the kids out there. We can see here Diallo, who does now have his contract, his $8,000 a week contract, so he will be able to play league games for us with that work permit, so he'll play more. McDonald is maybe another one we could look to sell on. He's worth $8 million. We almost certainly need to do that, don't we? Again, just to raise funds to sign the bigger players. Maurice is the good backup, so I don't think we're going to do anything with him. And maybe Buckley we could look to sell as well. What's he worth? Not really nothing worth selling. So we will have Lindsay McLean back as sort of that backup number 10, who's quite solid as well. You can see there out on loan at Dundee United, he did okay. I wouldn't say anything more than okay, but he did okay. The other players out on loan that are coming back, Jordan Holland, you can see there, again, he was at Dundee United, 18 games, 2 goals, 1 assist, a 702 average. I really, really rate this guy, except for his marking. His marking really, really lets him down, but I think as a centre-back in the league, as a sort of a backup centre-back, he's probably just about good enough, but the marking really worries me. And Kenny McIntosh is the other one that went out on loan. He was at Wraith. You can see there 18 games, 2 off the bench, 3 assists, not the best average rating. He's good. He always plays well for us, usually when he plays, but I do wonder if he's maybe not developing. But again, there's not really enough there, a transfer value to sell him to sort of hope, to raise funds. He's maybe better off keeping on that sense. And Rhian Brewster, of course, his contract is up. He will be going back on loan and we won't be signing him, even though his contract is up. If we look at the goal scorers from last season, it was Carlos, Lancaster, Uche and Jones that led the way. Jones, of course, is joining on a permanent transfer in case you have forgotten that. So that's good news for us. Brewster got a few. We got a few goals from midfield. Clare was on a tear at the end there, wasn't he? Innes Cameron, another one. Is he good enough? He's probably is good enough as a backup, but he's not. I'd say if I'm looking at it, I'd say Carlos is first choice right now. I'm looking to maybe bring in a second choice to challenge him. If we look then perhaps Innes Cameron as third choice and maybe Calvin Forster as fourth choice. That maybe makes sense to me. Davey Turnbull, another one who I think we'll look to sell just to get transfer. He's got good transfer value. And we've maybe moved past him a little bit. He's very good passing and vision though, and flair as well. But I just think we've maybe moved past him. Turn up with some goals as well. His first full season. Hickey, We can see there the rest of the goal scorers. The assists went to Greg Taylor, Dozzell, Curtis Jones, Kieran Lang. That's a good effort from him from right back. 7 assists from 23 games. Inaki Dominguez, Darnell Johnson, another sort of 6 assists from right back there. Hartford, Cochrane, and we can go all the way down there. Lots of well spread out assists perhaps, but no real star there. Dimitri Mitchell, 4 assists this year. It's down, way down on him for previous seasons. We have a look at finances coming into the beginning of this episode. We've got $10.5 million to spend. The wage budget's going to be the problem, isn't it? But maybe we'll get more money for next season once that's happened. What hasn't happened yet is the Champions League final. So we should get extra TV money, I think, once that's been played, having reached the quarterfinals. So if this can boost up to maybe pushing 40 million, that's maybe a bit ambitious, 35 million maybe, and we can get another couple of million on the transfer budget, then perhaps we can do something. But anyway, we'll be back shortly. There'll be the commercial summary, and then we'll get to work in the transfer window. Well, some big breaking news. Marcelino sacked by Celtic when they're coming third in the league and is out of the title race as they were. That's not really a massive surprise, I wouldn't have thought, but there will be a new Celtic manager next season. Now, we'll probably get asked for an interview for the job. Obviously, we'll laugh at them and run away. Now, one other thing here. We did set a record. Juan Amos, he's 22 clean sheets, was a club record. He overtook Teddy Smith's record from a few seasons ago. So there we go. That is some big breaking news to start the summer off. Okay, our end of season financial stuff is in, and good news, we've cleared all the debt. So Hearts no longer has any debt, which is obviously amazing. What have we got here? That's financial fair play period. Well, we know we're going to pass that. That's fine. Club memberships announced. We've got 2.66 million in for that. Commercial summary. Here we go. I always like this, and I don't know why. It's one of my strange little quirks, I guess. Our major kit sponsor, we have gone up. Well, look at that. 5.75 million up from 120,000. What were we doing previously? We must have a new commercial manager. That is a massive increase in sponsorship, needless to say. We've got 4 other new deals worth 1.7 a year. Now, I wonder if that's worth that each year or if that's worth that over the course of the 5-year deal. But anyway, it's still a massive increase. Sponsorship, as we can see, is up. Corporate and hospitality, prawn sandwich sales, roughly, it says it's gone up. It's roughly the same. Matchday revenue is down. I wonder if that's from not making the Scottish Cup. Oh, speaking of the Scottish Cup final, Rangers beat Dundee 3-0. So that was that one. Broadcast revenues are down. Again, that surprises me given that we were in the Champions League. But I wonder if we'll get more money from that once that's done. Competition prize money way up from last year. Top shirt sales, Uche is still number 1. I want an Uche shirt myself, to be honest. But yeah, so Uche, Clare, Cochrane, Lancaster and Hartford. I'm expecting everyone to be here except Uche. I do think it's going to be the end of him. Not too many foreign shirt sales, which is slightly disappointing, but it's fine. That's fine. And the new scouting budget, we have that there as well. That's the financials. So have a quick look at what we see here overall. 26.9. That's a little bit down on what it was, I think, wasn't it? But about the same. There still hasn't been the Champions League final, so I do think we get some money once that's been played. Had a quick look around for players to bid. I'll show you one striker that we had a bid accepted for, but we just could not get his wages. He wanted 22 grand a week, actually wanted 24 grand a week, I think, which was just a little bit out of what we can do. This was him here, Gustavo Medina. I am not going to give up on him. He's really consistent physically, good off the ball. His finishing is strong enough, I think. He's wanted by, I think it was at Arsenal and West Ham, so I was trying to get in before them. Good passing as well. As I said, I'm not going to give up on him, but it's that wages-wide, this one looks difficult. I think the transfer fee was about 3 million, so it was quite reasonable. But yeah, that's the one bid that we've had to go at. It hasn't come off just yet, but yeah, we'll keep trying. Okay, we have some end-of-season awards. Carlos has won the Young Player of the Year. 20 games, 16 goals. That's not too bad for a first year, I've got to say. Was he 19, 20-year-old? Not too bad. He's also won the the Writers' Young Player of the Year. Hearts Player in Team of the Season. That is outrageous. We've won the league, and we only have a goalkeeper in the Team of the Season. There's always bias, isn't there, towards the Rangers and Celtic in this, but that is, as I said, that is outrageous. Maybe we've rotated too much is the only excuse I could come up with there. But how is Cochrane not in there at an absolute minimum? Or Lancaster with all his goals. Anyway, I'll calm down. It's fine. It doesn't really mean anything, but there we go. That is the Scottish Team of the Year. And let me know what you think in the comments. I think that's outrageous. Okay, the transfer window is opened and we have officially signed. This is the player, of course, we signed a couple of months ago in game time. A young left back from Dundee. I don't know why I'm building for the future, given this is probably our last year, but I was building for the future with this one. So we're not going to see too much of him. We'll put him back into the probably under 23s and see how he gets. Actually, we'll do that now before I forget. Moved him to the reserves. And yeah, just kind of see how he goes. But we have had some interest in some of our players. First up, Norwich has made a bid for Cochrane. He has no interest in moving there, which was good. You can see there what the bid was, and that was never a doubt. And Amar's come under a bid from Reading as well. Again, he had no interest in moving there. Are Reading a Premier League club in the game? No, they're... Oh, hang on. Did they get promoted? They may have just got promoted, it looks like. League, I'm assuming that must be what's happened. League table. Yeah, so Reading's been promoted, so that's why they're looking for our goalkeeper. But again, Amar had no interest in moving. So that's good. Two players we don't want to sell, don't want to leave. I get the feeling that's not the last bid we're going to receive from some of our players, though. Okay, well, we have breaking news, and we do have the first of our new signings, or big new signings anyway, to announce. Hopefully there'll be more to come. I shouldn't say it's the first. There may not be any more, but hopefully there will be. Steven Jovanovic, we have signed. He's a striker. You can see there, 3.2 million with some add-ons potentially rising to 4.8, which is sort of, I think, a pretty decent fee. We're paying him sort of the minimum for him to be able to play league fixtures as a foreign player, obviously. And we can see here, Uche hasn't left yet, but I'm hoping this guy will be Uche's replacement. He can play as a pressing forward. He's a good finisher, so that's important. Decent passing and vision, which is good as well. Not quite maybe physically as strong as Uche, but still decent enough. I think he'll do really well for us. You can see valued at 3.4 already. As I said, the $8,000 a week. So that is what it is. You can see we have received some bids for Uche. It's not... So maybe 6.75 is getting up towards what we could get for him. I want to try and get a little bit more. I want to get as close to his value as I can. So that's where we're at right now. We'll keep looking. I have a feeling once July 1st comes around, once sort of Europe or the other European windows open, contracts expire, loans become available as well. I think that's when we'll start to see some real movement. But we do have a new striker. Okay, we have more breaking news, another new signing and another new striker. This hopefully will just about fix up, or not fix up, but finish off what we want to do with strikers up front to get us through. And you can see he's a free transfer, which is wonderful. He hasn't joined officially just yet, but $8,000 a week he's on. You can see all the bonuses there. And what have we signed? I think we've signed ourselves a really good striker. I'm not sure if he's going to be ahead of Carlos, but good pace, and physically he's quite good. Decent free kick and corner taker. His finishing could maybe be a little bit better. His passing and vision as well. He's got good determination, decent off the ball. I kind of view him, I think, maybe a third choice behind Jovanovic and Carlos, but definitely an upgrade, I think, on... you can see the scouts absolutely love him, but definitely an upgrade, I think. Well, definitely an upgrade on Uche, who we're still trying to get him out the door. But even on Innes Cameron, I think... and it's a free transfer, we really can't lose, can we? So there we go. Aldo Silva has joined Hearts as well. I don't know if I can bring myself to actually sell Uche. Hello? Oh, hi, Luciano Spalletti. Where are you at these days? You're at Everton. Oh, I didn't realise you spoke such good English. Oh, good for you, mate. Good for you. Now, how can I help you here? You're making a 5.25 million bid for Patricio Dreer. Okay, good for you, mate. Well, I am rejecting a $5.25 million bid for Patricio Dreer. What do you mean I can't do that? He doesn't have a release fee. Oh, crap. He has a release fee. Tommy, get Patricio Dreer a new contract now. So yeah, this is not good breaking news. This is very frustrating, annoying breaking news. I do kind of remember now. I do remember him having a release fee because we didn't have a choice at the time. We had to. He had to have it, and yeah, I completely forgot. I really wanted Dreer to be one of our two starting centre backs. Him and he, who was sort of who I wanted to start the season. It's frustrating because he had a really good first year last year, a 19-year-old who had never played football before, certainly professionally, and look at that, he did really, really well. I mean, we've made a decent profit off of him, but to be honest, I mean, he was already worth more than that release fee, and yeah, by the time I kind of remembered when bids started coming in for him, I offered him a new contract. Everton and Paris as well were both bidding for him, but it was too late. It was too late. So we've lost Patricio Dreer, but we have made a signing to hopefully replace him. Now, is he going to be as good? I don't know. But it's Tariq Ahmed. He is going to be joining on the 30th of July. So we've got a little bit of time to wait before we get him. Now, that's because he's still currently 17. That's his 18th birthday is the 30th of July. He hasn't been fully scouted yet, as you can see. But I think I can see enough for a 17-year-old for a $500,000 transfer fee as well to just take the risk and get him in. He's left-footed, so that'll help. We can play him on the left side of a back two. But I think mentally he already looks very good. Physically, he's fine. He can pass the ball a little bit as well, so we can bring it out of defense if we want to. Just so you can see, technically, we haven't really fully scouted him. But as I said, for a 17-year-old, I think we've seen enough there. So have we signed the new Patricio Dreer? Let's hope so. But Tariq Ahmed in, and unfortunately, Patricio Dreer out. Alright, we have done some business and I'm very, very excited about this. We have two loan signings. First up, Olivier Bastista Meyer. You can see he's on loan from Bayern Munich. We're paying him $9,500 a week, which I'm fine with. And look what we have here. He can play both sides. Now, we didn't necessarily want or need wingers. I'm looking more on the right side, and this is more like a bit of stardust for Europe. Look at these, not just dribbling. This is all great. Free kick and corner taking is very, very high. He will be a really, really big threat from set pieces. You can see he can play as an advanced playmaker. We're looking at him more as a winger on the right-hand side, backup, or actually Curtis Jones maybe come back up to him in Europe. But yeah, really, really good signing, good vision as well, excellent flair. I really think this is a difference maker for us. Let me know what you think in the comments, but I think he's a star. And the other one we've gone and got is we've looked to strengthen at centre-back, obviously, with the unexpected departure of Dreer. Nicolo, Italian guy. Excellent passing. Heading's not the best, but he's got good jumping reach and strength, which should cover that. Very good tackling, good positioning. If anything, we may have actually upgraded on Dreer here. So again, I think we've done really well. Only 18, so, you know, not the most experienced player in the world, but that should be fine. We're paying him $8,500 a week. There is a monthly loan fee as well for this guy. $40,000 if we're paying him, $90,000 if we're not. So I don't know exactly what constitutes as playing him or not. I think if we use him once a week, that'll be fine. And if, whatever, we've got a really, really good player there. What's happening here, Morty? Now, other things that have happened, two players have joined officially. So Aldo Silva has joined officially. You can see there he's really potentially an absolute star for us. And the other person that has joined officially is Curtis Jones. We've seen him before. We know what he's all about. Actually, we'll go to transfers here in ins. Where is he here? Curtis Jones. So there we go. He has joined officially as well. So two really, really good signings there as well that have joined. We are looking to get a few players out. You can see Mark Burns, one of our young left-backs, has left as well. He's gone off to Dundee, so he was never going to play for us now. So he's gone off, and we've sent out another one of our young wingers off on loan for the season there as well. We're accepting bids. We're working on getting, what's his name? Uche out of the club, as well as Turnbull, and Innes Cameron now as well with the two strikers coming in, plus Carlos. I really don't see a point in keeping Innes Cameron. So yeah, we're working on that. We may look to get out maybe one of the wingers. I think McDonald's the other one, Anthony McDonald, because I don't think he's going to get much game time now anywhere right, left, or in the number 10 role. So there's still more to come. It's July 6th. I think we have, two loans in, and then we've already got Dominguez. So we have one more loan if we want it or need it. We'll just keep seeing what comes available. Alright, more breaking news. It's another signing. It's another loan signing. Now, you may remember this guy, and you may remember his name, Brian Buchan, because we first discovered him at Hamilton, and he went off. I didn't sign him when I should have. He went off to Tottenham, and we finally had a chance to get him into Hearts, albeit on loan. And this is basically our new Davy Turnbull. And I think we can all agree it's a big upgrade on Davy Turnbull. Not the best in the air, that's one of Turnbull's strengths, but otherwise, look at this. Passing, vision, free kick taking, decision-making, determination, it's all there. He's not the worst in the tackle, decent work rate, teamwork as well. I think I'm really, really loving our midfield quartet now. You think we have we have Cochrane, we have Dominguez, we have Dozzle, and now we have this guy with Hickey kind of as a fifth choice to back them all up. And I think our midfield options are suddenly looking very, very good. We're paying him $9,000 a week if he plays, 17 and almost 18 grand a week if he doesn't. Again, I don't really know what constitutes playing or unplaying or not playing. I should say I saw unused, unplaying. So there we go. But yeah. Really, really happy. I think we're really shaping up nicely. Now we do need to go to work and get out the players that we need to get out. Other positions I'm looking at now maybe strengthening. I'm wondering, and if we look at our finances, we're still doing okay. We still have, with the sales that we've made already and then potentially some more to go out, we still have some money. We still have a little bit of wage budget as well, and we can obviously shift things around if we need to. I'm wondering, if we could maybe need to upgrade at left back. Could we do better than Taylor? Taylor is good, but could we do better? We've got to remember we do have Diallo, who's available for us this year. Now he can play left or right. He's more natural on the left. So we've got him as an option. And do we need to look to upgrade at right back? We saw Darnell Johnson struggle at times last year. Maybe we could upgrade there. We do of course have Kieran Lang on the right-hand side as well, but he's a good young player, but he's still not quite ready for this season, and we know this season is what it's all about for us now. Could we do with another centre-back? Proctor as a backup is maybe okay. We know that we have Porty O'Connor as well, and of course Coping, who was fine, and I am looking to retrain him as more of a half-back, because he's got good passing, just sitting here and kind of bring it out if we don't have ball players for Europe. So maybe we could do with another centre-back. Maybe we could do with a left or a right-back. I think we're pretty much set everywhere else. We do, as I said, we just need to look to get Uche out of the club, and we need to look to get now Anthony McDonald out of the club, which we're working on, and also Davy Turnbull. Well, Cameron, you can see we've got bids in for him as well, and Davy Turnbull. He hasn't left yet, has he? I'm sure we haven't sold him yet. Where is he? Where are you, Turnbull? There he is up there, Davy Turnbull. We have got bids in for him as well, as you can see. So yeah, there will be more to come. I just don't know if it's going to be any more ins. We'll have to see what we can do. So it has happened. Uche has left the club. He's left the building. He's gone off to Lanús, was it? Yes, Lanús in Argentina. It's playing in the same colours, so he's not going that far. But I think we can see by the scout summary there, it was time, wasn't it? He's been a wonderful, wonderful player for us. It's very, very sad. I mean, look at this. Early on, when we first took over, these 2 seasons here, I remember the second season, he was unplayable. And you can see he has just dropped away a little bit each year. And last year, like I say, it was probably time. So he's off to Argentina to run around in their second division for a couple of seasons. What's his wages like? He's taken a bit of a pay cut to do it. But yeah, there we go. Leave your tributes for Uche in the comments. He is no longer a Hearts player. And apparently, Dimitri Mitchell's upset about that. I'm not surprised, actually, because we know that Mitchell to Uche was quite a profitable supply line for us, wasn't it? It has been a busy, busy summer with breaking news, hasn't it? With more breaking news, and this time it's 2 more departures. First up is Innes Cameron has left us. He's joined Anderlecht for $7.25 million. Again, I just feel like we just started to move past him, and if I'm honest with myself, he never really did what I was hoping he would do as a Hearts player. We had him for a number of years, and he just... I don't know, is it that we didn't give him enough opportunities? I'm not sure, but we paid $200,000 for him. We sold him on for $7 million more than that a few seasons later. So he wasn't done too bad for us, has he? But yeah, Innes Cameron has moved on to Anderlecht. And the other one that has left us, if we scroll just back down here, because it happened the day before, is Turnbull has left. He has joined Rennes in France. 8.25 up front, potentially rising up to 10 million there, as you can see. Again, another one, he didn't really let us down, but if you look at the scouting summary, we had moved past him. He was a good penalty taker for us, which is where a lot of his goals came from. But we signed him for 800,000. We've made a nice little. We've added an O basically on the end of the transfer fee, which is good. He did play more games. He was more of a fixture in the first team. But I think you can agree with the loan signing that we've made. I don't think we need him anymore. You may have noticed then here we did have a sneaky bid at Cesar Azpilicueta from Chelsea. Just sort of a general experienced player to get in there if we are going to try and challenge in Europe. Maybe would have solved a problem at right back for us potentially as well, but he wanted way too much money. He wanted still like 40 grand a week. So obviously we weren't going to do that for a 34-year-old that we don't really necessarily want or need. So there we go. That is more outs. If we look at the finances, we have some wiggle room now, don't we? Yeah, we have some wiggle room. We'll see if we can wiggle. Okay, we have another signing. It's not a big money signing, but I think it could be a really, really good signing for us. Especially, I really wish we could sort of keep this save going on, just sort of carry it over to FM20, because we're signing some good young players. Jamie Castillo here is the latest one. A Peruvian centre-back, 400,000 a release fee. We're paying him the minimum wage to make sure he can play league games, so 8 grand a week. And look at this, potentially an absolute star. Physically, for a 19-year-old, he's already an absolute star. He can pass the ball out of the back as well. Good positioning. He's already an upgrade on Archie Proctor, which makes me wonder, do we maybe look to move Archie on, though he's probably good depth at this point. But we do have a lot of backup centre-backs. But I think this guy's a little bit better than a backup. I think he could step in and play big games if we needed him to. Certainly in sort of early stages of Europe, or I think I'd be happy putting this guy out against Rangers or Celtic, to be honest. So, again, let me know what you think. He's not worth too much right now, but I think that's a really, really good deal. I'm quite happy with that. Okay, the final signing that I think we're going to make. We're getting to the start of the league season now, but Tariq Ahmed has finally turned 18 and he has finally joined us on a permanent deal. I still think we can see now clearly his technical attributes there. I think he's a really good signing. He's going to be back up for this season. But as far as backup goes, very, very happy to have him on board. And we're paying, can you imagine paying 8.5 grand for a backup centre-back per week when we first started here? I mean, anyone's on 8.5 grand a week, we would have been trying to get rid of them no matter who they were. So that's just how far we've come. Now let's have a look at what has been a very, very, very busy transfer window. We've actually only spent 4.8 million in transfer fees. We've spent a lot more of that on wages, but haven't spent that much on fees, and we bought in 26.5 million. Now, a quick review of those that have left. Patricio Dreer, who we didn't want to leave, did leave, and that's a shame. 5.25 million off to Everton. Mark Burns, one of the youngsters, has gone off to Dundee, a left back. A youngster, David Marshall, has gone off on loan. Uche, fair loyal soldier, he's gone, he's left us, so it's 5.5 going up to 6.75. That one hurts. Atkinson, another one of the young midfielders, I should say, centre midfielders. We did kind of see him in the first team squad last year, but yeah, he wasn't going to make it, so we've got rid of him. Davey Turnbull has left, obviously, 8.25, rising up to 10. Innes Cameron has left to Anderlecht, 7.75, rising up to 8.25. Grant and two other youngsters that have gone out. Grant McLaughlin, a young fullback, and Johnny Nelson, a young winger as well, have gone out on loan for the year. Now, let's review what we have done this summer, because we have spent some money and made some signings. So Rush Ward, a youngster, we probably won't see this year. Again, I'm building for a future that will never happen. I don't know why I do that. So he's come in from Dundee for 12,000. Darren Jones, a young centre-back from Plymouth, that we signed for 300,000, potentially rising to $1 million. So he is in as well. Now these are the big ones. Stefan Johanovic, this guy, Stephen, he has joined us, a striker, a good striking option. He can play as a number of different roles. You can see he's a wonder kid as well. We could use him as a deep-lying forward, as a complete forward. There's a number of different roles he can play, so that's good. Curtis Jones, now we knew we were signing him. He's come in on a permanent deal from Liverpool. He was one of our better players, well, pretty much the last 2 years when we signed him on loan, so really good to have him on a permanent. Aldo Silva signs on a free transfer. A really, really good striker. He's done okay in pre-season as well, so they can see he's already valued at just under 10 million. A loan signing, Baptista Moya, really, really good right-wing option, I think. Good free kicks, good dribbling, good corner-taking, flair, vision. He's got it all. I'm really, really excited about this guy. this guy, our Nicolo, our young on loanee, wasn't loan, wasn't he? Yeah, from Lazio centre back. We haven't seen him. He's been away at the Olympics, so we haven't seen him in pre-season. But I do think he's going to be a good player for us. Brian Buchan, we wanted to sign him years ago from Hamilton. We eventually have got him in on loan. Basically, this guy steps in to replace or to fill the void left by Davy Turnbull. So he's an upgrade on him without any shadow of a doubt. Jamie Castillo, another young centre-back. Really, really excited with this guy. Signing for $400,000, of course. And then Ahmed Tariq, we signed for $500,000. He comes in as well. So we're very, very well stocked for centre-backs now. If we do go and have a look at what what squad we have coming in to start the season, you will see that striking options. We have Lancaster can play as a striker. He's arguably better as a striker, but we're not going to see him there ideally. The options up front will be Carlos, who we saw did well last year, Aldo Silva, who we've already seen, and Ivanovic, who hopefully will do well. And then we do have still Colin McNeil at the club, who can come and step in if we need him to. If we look for the wide players, on the left, Andrew Turner, we have had one bid from Manchester United. Obviously, the transfer window is still open, so that may not have gone just yet, but we do still have him as the left option on the left. Lancaster as well, and the other main option over here on the left is Sean Clare. We have three very, very high quality options, and then of course our German friend can step over on the left if we need him to. On the right, Curtis Jones, he will share this role, I think, initially with Mayer, unless something happens, and we have to use them elsewhere. Lancaster, we know, can play on the right, and there are other two options of the two youngsters, Stephen Eady, who I'd still like to give game time to where we can, because he's a good player, and also Robbie Taylor, who is also a good young option for us. If we look at the number 10, we have Hartford, who it's his shirt to lose, essentially. Curtis Jones can step in there as well and do a good job, as can Sean Clare. We will probably see Lindsay McLean in this role. He's come back from a good year on loan and is looking a very good player for us as well. And Buchanan can step up in there as well. Central midfield, we may not have many options. We do have a youngster down in under 18s as well who we can call up. But the main guys here will split it. These two roles will be shared by 5 players, and they are Naki Dominguez, they are Harry Cochran, they will Hickey is kind of a backup to all of them. I think is still a good option as a backup. Buchan, who we've already seen, and Andre Dozel as well. We have really, really good midfield options. And of course, Jovanovic can step back there if we need him to as well. In the DM role, basically Coping will be the main guy. We've seen, he will be one of the guys. We've seen Cochrane step back in there as well and do a decent job. If we look at centre-backs, and again, we are well stocked with centre-backs. We have Porty O'Connor. We have Hehu. We have Castillo. We have Ahmed. And we're not done yet. We have Nicolo. We have Castillo again, so we can get rid of him. We have Bobby Coping. As again, I said, we'll probably look to step him forward into the halfback role at times. And we have Archie Proctor, who we may look to sell, though we don't really need money now either, to be honest. So we're in a really good state. Right side, I'm still not convinced we don't want to do something on the right side here. We do have Kieran Lang, who's a very good, potentially good player. Not quite maybe at the level right now. We do have Darnell Johnson. Now, Darnell Johnson is the club captain for the year. He has stepped in to replace Uche, and he who is the vice captain. So I couldn't really find anybody that was necessarily better than Darnell Johnson. There were players that were about the same, but no one better going forward. And there were people that were maybe slightly better defensively, but yeah, I don't know. I'm still not convinced we couldn't do better there. Diallo, who can play on the right, but is more natural on the left. We're trying to retrain him. And Castillo, who can play over here, but you can see there, he physically can do it, but maybe technically can't. On the left, we have Greg Taylor. We have Diallo, where he's more natural. We have Dimitri Mitchell. And we also have McIntosh, who we may look to send out on loan again, and Ahmed as well, who can step over here. On our shortlist, there was nothing really on the left that was any better than those guys, so we haven't really looked at them. Goalkeeping, we have Amar, who was really good last year. He is currently at the Olympics, so we'll probably be missing him for the first few weeks of the season. Maurice, we still have him, obviously, who's a very good player, and Harry Stone as our third choice backup. he is fine for that for now. If we can get a youngster in, maybe we'll look to do that. But third choice never really plays, do they? But there we go. That is it for the transfer special. Let me know what you think of the signings of the squad to start the season. We've definitely upgraded. It's definitely been busy. We've gone big for the last season. The window hasn't closed yet. We're only July 30th. There is still time. Still time to get this. Couple more signings across the line here, but we'll be back tomorrow to start the season. We start at home to Inverness, Caledonian Thistle, so it should be a relatively comfortable first look at some of these teams, or some of these players, I should say, in the team. But until then, guys, I've been Aussie Villain. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care.